Hello everyone. Today, I'm going to share a touching story about James, a brave young man who overcame all obstacles to propose to Diep, and their journey to building a happy home with two little angels, Emily and Jack. This is not just a story about love, but also a testament to the power of perseverance and faith in the future. James and Diep met under challenging circumstances, but their love triumphed over all barriers from family and society. After months of trials, James sincerely and emotionally proposed a future together with Diep. Their wedding day marked not only the union of two hearts but also the beginning of a new chapter of happiness with the arrival of Emily and Jack, the beautiful fruits of their love. Their little family grew closer each day, with every moment filled with peace and sweetness. From mornings preparing meals to evenings reading stories together, and weekends going to church, they created a warm, loving family picture. Emily and Jack grew up in the loving arms of their parents, being taught to love and cherish life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss more heartfelt and meaningful stories. Thank you so much for watching. James and Diep had been together since the very first moment their eyes met, as if an invisible thread gently pulled them closer. Their love came quietly, without fanfare, yet it was surprisingly deep and sincere. Long conversations, walks together, and sharing life stories gradually built a strong connection between two very different souls who somehow resonated perfectly. However, their beautiful love wasn't easily accepted by those around them. Both families, though they never intended to hurt, cast doubtful glances and voiced objections. Differences in culture, life perspectives, and old prejudices created many obstacles for James and Diep's relationship. Diep's family worried she wouldn't be happy with a foreigner, while James's family was concerned about differences in tradition and lifestyle. During those days, James and Diep often stood at difficult crossroads. They had moments of discouragement and uncertainty about the future, even wondering if their love was strong enough to overcome all barriers. But love remained a warm flame burning inside each of them, giving them the strength to move forward. James never gave up. He spent time learning Diep's culture, integrating into her family's life, and building trust with sincerity and dedication. Diep also persistently explained her feelings to her family, about James and the values he brought to her life. They did not avoid hardships but faced them together. Every word, every gesture, every action showed deep respect and love. James wanted to prove to everyone that he was a worthy man, able to protect and care for Diep for life. Meanwhile, Diep, with her gentleness and determination, convinced her family that love was not about external differences but about empathy, sharing, and mutual respect. After months of patience and relentless effort, their love was finally accepted. James proposed to Diep on a peaceful afternoon beneath the green canopy of the tree where they first met. He knelt down, presenting her with a sparkling ring like a beacon of hope, and spoke from the heart, "I want to spend my whole life with you, facing every challenge together." Looking into James's eyes, tears of happiness welled up in Diep's eyes, and she nodded without hesitation, as if all the storms had vanished, replaced by complete joy. On their wedding day, the air was filled with excitement and joy. Both families, now united in celebration, warmly welcomed this sacred union. All previous misunderstandings were resolved through sincerity and true love. In the eyes of their loved ones, James and Diep saw reassurance and support, something far more precious than any promise. Hand in hand, they stepped into a new chapter of life, more confident and steadfast than ever. The life ahead, though still uncertain, was certain of one thing: their love had conquered all obstacles and they would never part. Every moment, every smile, every second together was proof of the power of their hearts and their unwavering faith in the future they were building together. Their love, from stormy beginnings to today, had become the most beautiful story, a story of perseverance, sacrifice, and true happiness. After their wedding, James and Diep stepped into a new life filled with joy and hope. Their love no longer belonged to just the two of them but was beautifully extended by the arrival of two little angels, their daughter Emily and son Jack. This happiness was like a precious gift, adding vibrant colors and warmth to their small family that words could hardly describe. Emily was born first, a lovely little girl with big, bright eyes and a radiant smile that never left her face. She was the pride of both James and Diep, a gentle angel with a sensitive soul and a kind heart. Jack, who came not long after, was full of energy, mischievous, and always brought laughter to everyone at home. The two siblings were like two opposite worlds that perfectly complemented each other, creating a lively and loving family portrait. James and Diep always gave their children attentive care and unconditional love. They understood that beyond physical growth, their children needed emotional and spiritual nourishment to become good people who knew how to love and share. Every meal, every lullaby, every gentle hug from their parents was an invisible source of strength, helping Emily and Jack grow up fully protected. Their small home became lively with laughter and simple yet meaningful moments of happiness. Each morning, as sunlight filtered through the windows, Emily and Jack would wake up together, ready for a new day full of joy. James and Diep tried hard to balance work and family life, so they could spend as much time as possible with their children, learning, playing, and exploring the world together. From a young age, Emily showed intelligence and keen observation. She loved reading, storytelling, and was always curious about new things. Jack was very active, loved running and exploring, often causing James and Diep headaches with his adorable mischief. But this difference only made their sibling bond stronger. They always cared for, protected, and shared both joys and sorrows with each other. James and Diep also paid great attention to educating their children from the simplest things. They often taught Emily and Jack to cherish family values, gratitude, and respect for others. Every night before bed, the whole family would gather together, sharing about the day that passed, laughing, and telling gentle stories. Those were precious moments for bonding and for the children to feel their parents' unwavering love. Moreover, James and Diep always worked to create a warm and safe environment for Emily and Jack's holistic development. They knew childhood was the foundation for the future, so every small detail in daily life was carefully considered. From choosing schools to outdoor activities, Everything was planned to help their children grow physically and emotionally in the best way possible. As time passed, Emily and Jack grew day by day in their parents' loving arms. Though there were small quarrels and disagreements like any children, their sibling love remained a strong foundation. They learned to share, empathize, and walk alongside each other through every situation. And James and Diep, as parents, quietly stood by, caring for, guiding, and encouraging their children to mature step by step. That little family was the peaceful place James and Diep always aimed for, a home not only filled with the laughter of children but also overflowing with love and sharing. They knew that no matter how busy or challenging life outside might be, inside this home, they would always have each other, always have love to rely on. After those challenging days, James and Diep's life now unfolded as a series of peaceful and simply joyful moments. Both husband and wife went to work, each with their own pressures and busy schedules, but when they returned to their shared home, all those stresses seemed to melt away. Their cozy little house always warmly welcomed every family member back, a sanctuary where they could be themselves and feel loved unconditionally. Every morning, James and Diep woke up early to prepare breakfast for the whole family. The cheerful laughter of Emily and Jack echoed through the small kitchen, making those simple moments sweeter than ever. After breakfast, the two children were sent off to school, while James and Diep began their busy workdays. No matter how tiring the day was, they always tried to keep a positive spirit because they knew every effort was to build a happy home for their family. Evenings were the most precious time of the day for James and Diep. They made the most of their time with the children, helping Emily and Jack with homework, playing together, and sharing stories about their day. Laughter filled the living room, hugs were held tight, and whispered words of affection created a family picture full of love and closeness. Sometimes, James would read bedtime stories to the kids, while Diep skillfully prepared delicious meals for the whole family to enjoy together. On Sundays, the James, Diep family had a special tradition that everyone treasured, going to church together. This was not only a chance to express gratitude and find peace in their hearts but also a moment to strengthen family bonds. They held hands as they walked through quiet streets, breathed in the fresh air, and felt the warmth spread through every touch and exchanged glance. Emily and Jack always looked forward to joining their parents in church activities, learning and embracing the values of faith and love. Besides the time spent with family, James and Diep also nurtured dreams and plans for the future. They regularly discussed how to raise their children, family goals, and personal career ambitions. This mutual understanding and shared commitment made them not only husband and wife but also trusted partners, ready to face all life's challenges together. Though simple, their life was rich in meaning. They cherished every moment together, from warm family meals and joyful laughter to quiet moments after a long day. The love in their family was not about extravagance but about enduring presence, continuous sharing, and a warm flame that warmed each person's heart. Emily and Jack grew up surrounded by their parents' love, learning to care for and respect others. They were taught valuable life lessons, compassion, and sharing, becoming well-behaved, happy, and confident children. Every time James and Diep saw their children grow healthy and joyful, they felt fulfilled, knowing all the hardships and efforts had been worthwhile. Though life still held its challenges and busyness, for James and Diep, family was the strongest pillar. They understood that as long as they were together, loving and supporting each other, nothing was impossible to overcome. And it was this simplicity and sincerity that created a perfect family picture, a place where everyone found true happiness and meaning in life. This story about James and Diep truly touched my heart. It's a beautiful reminder that true love can overcome even the toughest obstacles, especially when faced with opposition from family and society. Their journey shows how patience, commitment, and unwavering faith in each other can turn challenges into lasting happiness. I love how their story isn't just about romance but also about building a strong, loving family together. The arrival of Emily and Jack adds such warmth and joy to their lives. It's inspiring to see how James and Diep balance their busy work lives while dedicating so much love and attention to raising their children. The small, everyday moments, like preparing breakfast, reading bedtime stories, and going to church as a family, make their bond even stronger and show that happiness often lies in simple things. What stands out most is the genuine care and nurturing environment they provide for their children, teaching them important values like love, respect, and gratitude. This story reminds us that family is the greatest source of strength and comfort in life. Overall, it's a heartwarming tale that inspires hope, resilience, and the power of love to create a beautiful life together.